Okay, so I'm Bronwyn Lowe, I'm a medical herbalist and I've got the dispensary in Raglan. Had the dispensary in Raglan for about 15 years and we're in our present location about the last 4 years. The dispensary is made up of a herbal dispensary, an organic food section and natural cosmetics, household goods and a lovely garden out the back. Currently we have 4 staff, 2 medical herbalists and 2 shop assistants. Our day-to-day jobs or duties range from making herbal tinctures up for people for their health needs, educating them about foods to eat, sharing with them our knowledge on natural health, making up veggie boxes, looking after the garden. It's a huge varied place of work and health for people in the community.
Sounds brilliant. Sounds like a lot of work.
It is a lot of work, that's why we have woofers.
Why did you decide to set up the dispensary?
Okay, so when I left school I went straight into horticulture, which was actually planting blueberry plants by the thousands. And then I started propagating plants for myself, selling plants at local markets, herb plants. And then through that I met a girl who was actually making herbal cosmetics. And she said, oh, you should study herbal medicine, which I did for 4 years. And when I graduated I realised that people didn't know what herbal medicine was. There was no knowledge in the community of herbal medicine. So my aim was not to be a shopkeeper, which I've turned into, but to provide an opportunity for the community to use herbs in their healthcare. So that was why I went into retail, because that was a way of building a profile of herbal medicine.
And how was the herbal course that you did? What was involved in it?
Okay, so I was lucky, it was local, it was only an hour's drive from where I was living at the time. We used to go 1 day a week, intensive herbal focus, so a lot of time spent in the garden, talking to the plants, learning about the plants, touching, harvesting, growing, manufacturing, in-depth work with plants as herbs, as medicine. And then we'd go away for the rest of the week and do more of a paperwork based course, so extremely plant focused, which was the fantastic part about the course.
And did you have an interest in that kind of thing when you were younger? Or?
Yeah, so I was always outside with my dad in the veggie garden, and my mum and my grandmother are both gardeners, so that's kind of in the gene pool.
So it made sense.
It made sense, absolutely. So I always thought I'd be a nurse or a gardener, and I kind of think I did pretty well to combine them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How is it running this practice in a town like Raglan?
It's very rewarding, it's very challenging, and at times frustrating, but yeah, overall rewarding. It's a small population, so Raglan's about 4,000 people. The community is extremely supportive, and I started with $3,000 worth of stock, so a very small amount of stock in a small back room down the alley. So it's only the community support that's got me to front row position, probably like, I don't know, I hate to think, $60,000 worth of stock and 4 staff 7 days a week. So community has been absolutely vital. And then we have our tourists and our holiday makers that come in and help prop us up through the winter when it's a bit quieter.
What do the tourists think of the dispensary?
They're amazed often. We hear things like it's the best shop in the country, there's no other shop like it, it's unique, wow, you know, they're surprised. Chain stores have pretty much taken over the retail health environment, so yeah, to get a store like ours is quite unique.
So for somebody who had never visited the dispensary, how would you describe the difference between it and those chain stores that say that they're selling herbal knowledge?
Yeah, so key point is that we are actually qualified. The people that work in the dispensary are true practitioners. belong to a professional body, and you have to keep your postgraduate hours up to date. And this is a general statement, may not be true for all health shops, but generally there are sales assistants taught about a product, and then they sell 20 of those products a month. So they're product-driven sales, and that might not be fair to everyone, but overall. And our sales are health-driven, so we sell, that's what we do, but we sell the person what they need, often made up to an individual requirement, not just a pill on a shelf. And we're educating all the time as well.
So you feel like you're educating the customers so that they know how to care for themselves?
Absolutely.
Rather than just selling a product?
Otherwise we'd become like a doctor. And that we tell you what to do and take this pill and you'll get better. What we're trying to do is, equally we're giving them some herbs, but we're also encouraging them to take control of their diet, lifestyle, other factors that might be impacting on their health.
How does herbal medicine, like teas and different things that you give people, how do they help overall and not just for the symptom?
Okay, so if we think about someone that comes in, let's say headache, and we might say, well, what are your stress factors, what are you eating, what's your lifestyle like, da-da-da-da, and we might think, well, this person really needs help with their digestive system. So then we give them bitters, which will help their liver, their digestive system function better, which actually will help lessen their headaches. So we're not working with a symptom, we're working with the whole body, and we want the body to come back to a nice balance.
So it's about not just focusing on what they come in with, but the overall person as well.
Yeah, and there's some people who will only want a quick fix, and we can do that to a degree herbally. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we're always trying to get their body back to the best state of health that it can be in. So we don't really worry about a diagnosis so much, we're just looking to get it back to balance.
Mm-hmm. When you first started, and you said you started kind of down an alley with $3,000 worth of stock, did you think, was this the vision that you have now for the dispensary, or what were you thinking of?
My vision was that I would do maybe 5 years in the main street, build up everyone's knowledge of herbs, and then just go back to my garden and play in the garden. Which obviously hasn't happened, but I have got my garden now as part of the business, so it's nice.
So tell us about the garden.
So the garden was a fantastic opportunity to have the plants out the back and let people see what they look like, because of the whole pill culture that's kind of prevalent in the health world now. People don't realise that they're actually plants that they're using. So the smell, the touch and the taste, and as well as the visual, was really important, and so it was for that reason, and just to inspire people to plant herbs in their backyard.
So they can see what they look like.
They can see what they look like. They get a buzz when they walk out there and see the butterflies and the bees and smell the plants.
And do you use the herbs from the garden in your practice?
We do. We make herbal teas from things like lemon verbena, lemongrass. We pick the chamomile. We make calendula ointment out of the calendula flowers. What else do we do? We let the plantain and the dandelion just grow, so then we make plantain ointment. We've got echinacea out there which we'll dig. We've got valerian, so we'll dig the roots and make valerian oil. Yeah, so bits and pieces.
Do you find that some people are a bit surprised about what's a herb and what's a weed, and what's a good weed and what's a bad weed?
Yes.
Because you said plantain and dandelion, and most people want to get rid of them.
Yeah. So I used to do quite a lot of public speaking to groups around the community, and it's always fun. I used to take chickweed, plantain, dandelion, just your common everyday garden plants, and get people to taste them and think about them as a nutritional food source, and they're always blown away. It's great.
And what's their preconception about those kind of...
That they're weeds.
That they're
Absolutely,
weeds.
that they shouldn't be in their garden. They should be weeded or sprayed out of existence.
And when you make them more aware of the benefits, what's their response then?
Well, chickweed is one that always surprises them because it's so tasty. You can use it like a lettuce, so that's one that I think they always go home more enthused about. Things like parsley, thinking about it as an iron-rich, vitamin C-rich herb, instead of just a little sprinkle on top of your meal. Yeah, so it's all good.
So no more parsley leaves on the top of your salad.
Whole handfuls in.
Has there been anyone or any group or any other shop that has inspired you to continue with what you're doing here?
Well, I guess my inspiring kind of teacher or mentor would have been my original herb teacher, who was Ida Burgess, extremely well known in the herbal world. You just have to Google her and you'll find her. So she was a very plant-focused, healing woman. Other shops, probably not.
No.
I like walking into food shops and seeing really good food shops. But the organic kind of herbal shops around are, product focused, sales driven.
To make you happy what you're doing then.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you think people can learn by working more with nature, working more with herbs, like maybe planting some of these things in their garden?
Well, I think the big thing would be that we can all actually take a really strong, active part in our own health and well-being, and we have actually got the tools really in our backyard if we could take the time and learn about them and see what's around us. And often what's around us in abundance is what we need.
How do you mean?
So, for instance, I walked outside the other day with a lady and she was looking for something to put on her warts, and there was just this nice little cluster of milkweed just right there, which is exactly what she wanted. Cleavers is another good one that grows in the hedgerows. It's a really good spring tonic. It's really good for your lymphatic system. Dandelion leaf, put it in your salads. What else grows wild? All the mallows, which are good for coughs and colds. So yeah, there's a lot that's actually just in our backyard.
It sounds like you are very knowledgeable about herbs and you've loads of experience in it. Have you learned anything that you didn't know before about herbs from maybe visitors, or you have woofers in the garden?
Yes, absolutely. We had some woofers just recently who taught me how to make sauerkraut, which was awesome. And actually she had a real old-fashioned way of using plantain, which I didn't know about, was making a sugar syrup with plantain for coughs and colds for young children. So the ancient knowledge would be fantastic if it was more available or readily shared, or somehow there was a network of getting that out. All valuable information.
Do you think that's missing in New Zealand, or people kind of lost track of it?
Lost track completely missing in New Zealand. If you go to the South Island and you see the hills covered in thyme, or the hills covered in elderflower or elderberry, what else is down there that the settlers brought? They brought nettles over. I think they brought mullein. So those are all herbs that they were using when they came, and they were absolutely vital to them. But it hasn't carried through into our society.
Would you like to do something to change that?
Yeah, I would. Not sure about when or how, but
if you have the time.
Yeah, I was doing evening classes for a while, but I'll let that go. So yeah, one day, and that was part of the concept of being here, was that we would do workshops, evening classes, little day seminars in the garden. So it might still happen that's made available to people.
Well, you started off with a little shop in a laneway, and now you have a very well-known shop with a garden, so yeah, it's probably very likely.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Bronwyn.
Oh, thank you.